Hello, welcome to the Jim RPG show. So we're going to take a look at the RTX 3070 AIB GPUs, and this is a bit of a roundup video of a number of cards. So we're going to take a look at some of the info for these cards and also some of the prices for these cards as well. Now we're just going to be covering 4 manufacturers today, and that's Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, and INNO3D. And that's because these were the cards that I found prices for at an online retailer called ProShop. So if you're after info on a card that's not covered today, then I suggest maybe going over to videocards.net, and there's a database for the 3070 cards there, and I'll leave a link in the description below. By the way, if you're interested in the 3080 and the 3090, I have made roundup videos for those cards as well, and I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, so just to recap quickly on the performance for the 3070, it's looking like that the 3070 will be more or less on par with the 2080 Ti. And that's pretty amazing because the 2080 Ti was a $1,200 card about a month ago, and now the 3070, which is starting at $499, should be able to match the 2080 Ti. Alright, let's start the roundup of the 3070 cards with the prices first, and then we'll get into the details of the cards a little bit later on. So I noticed on Amazon and Newegg, they haven't really put up the pages for the cards yet, and they haven't put up any prices yet, so I had to go look somewhere else for the prices. And I found prices on an online retailer in Europe called ProShop, and so they've got a number of models listed here, and we're going to use the ones from the Finland website. Finland uses the euro, so most people can do the conversion from euro to dollars quite easily. Now, if you're curious, you can also see the stock status for ProShop of the 3070 cards. But once again, they seem to order a lot of these cards, but not as many of them are coming in. So we're going to run through the prices pretty quickly, and you can pause the video if you want to look at any of the details at your own pace. So these are the Asus cards, and ProShop has 6 models available, and they have the dual cards, and they come in the dual and the dual OC. The OC is the overclocked version. Now I've listed here on the side the exFAT price because I think that's more comparable to what the US price would look like, and it's probably going to be about $50 more than these exFAT price. If you see the dual card, it starts at €458, and we know that the 3070 starts at $499, so I would probably add $50 to these cards for the US price. Now, I'm not going to add another column here and add the US price on, but just do the conversion yourselves. The tough cards are next, and they're the mid-tier cards, and they start at €491. And finally, the Strix cards are the most expensive. They're the highest tiered model, so they start at €596. So if you're in the US, I would expect to pay about $550 for the Asus TUF and about $650 for the Asus ROG Strix. So ProShop have 3 models for the Gigabyte cards. They have the Eagle OC, and the Gaming OC. And the Eagle card would probably be the base version card, and then you have the Gaming OC, which would probably be the mid-tier. Now, Gigabyte also have an Aorus Master, and that would probably be their top tier card for the 3070, and they don't have that listed here. And it looks as though they're not going to bring out an Aorus Extreme. And I think that kind of makes sense because if you're going to spend that much money, you'd probably just go and buy a 3080 anyway. For MSI cards, ProShop have 3 cards listed. They have the Ventus 2X, which is the base level card, then the Ventus 3X, and then also the Gaming X Trio. Now they all have the non-OC versions of these, but these aren't listed here. In terms of prices, it seems as though that the MSI cards are a bit less than the Gigabyte cards. So I think like if they were more or less comparable and you don't mind whether you get an MSI or Gigabyte card, then the MSI cards seem to be cheaper. Finally, we have the INNO3D cards, and you can see the prices here for yourself. They have the Twin, and then the iChill X3, and then the iChill X4. Now let's talk a little bit about the cards themselves, and we'll start with Asus. So Asus have 3 types of cards here. They've got the Asus Dual and the Asus ROG Strix and the Asus TUF. So within these 3 models, they also have a number of other, I guess, subset models within these. So they'll have a Dual Evo and then a Dual Advanced. Now from what I know, the Dual Evo is just one with a different cooler. I guess it's a little bit more basic cooler. So maybe that's a little bit cheaper. And then the Dual Advanced is one with a higher boost clock. And I haven't covered them here because, well, I don't have the prices for them, but just keep an eye out for them if you see them around. So let's talk about the Asus Dual 3070. Now this is a 2-fan card, and I think for most 2-fan cards, you're really only going to get them if you have a small case and you can't actually fit one of the bigger 3-fan cards. Now in general, I would have to say that the 2-fan version would probably be around the same level of performance as the 3-fan version, except I guess in some areas it probably just wouldn't boost as long as the 3-fan version. Now for the ROG Strix, this is the premium card, but it also has a premium price, and it looks like it's about €150 more, and it's probably going to be around about 150 to 200 US dollars more. So this is the card with, I guess, the most premium components on the card, and it's going to be more reliable, generally speaking. But the question is, do you want to spend $699 US dollars on a Asus ROG Strix 3070 or $699 on an Asus TUF 3080? So I think like if you're in that situation, for most people, I think most people would just get a 3080. But note that the Asus ROG Strix 3070 only has two 8-pin power connectors. So in terms of power delivery for overclocking, there's probably not going to be much difference between this and the other cards on this list. Now the Asus TUF for me seems like a very reasonable deal. It's listed here as €609, that's including the VAT, and excluding the VAT it would be €491, and I'm guessing it would probably retail for around 550 US dollars. In many reviews that it's got so far, particularly two that I recall, which is the Hardware Unboxed and the Gamers Nexus review, it performed very well for the thermal tests, so it was a very cool card, and also it was a very quiet card as well, and I think that's to do with the fact that there's an alternating spinning fan in the middle of the card. Also, there's been teardowns of this card from Der Bauer and also Buildzoid, and they both said that it had very good components that were used for the card. So overall, out of all of the cards today, I would probably recommend the Asus TUF the most, and if I was to get a card, that's the one that I would probably be getting. It seems like it has a reasonable price, and also that it seems it uses very good components. Also, for these Asus cards, they all have 3 display ports and 2 HDMI ports, whereas some of the other brands, they only provide just the 1 HDMI port. Let's move on to Gigabyte, and they have a Gigabyte gaming card, and I think that is their rebranding of the G1 series that they used to have. This is a very similar card to the Eagle, although there are some minor differences. The first of which, the Eagle OC has a different shroud to the gaming OC. Now in terms of performance, I assume that it probably has more or less the same performance. It's got the same cooler underneath. The gaming OC will probably boost higher as well. Now it hasn't listed the gaming OC clocks, or the Eagle OC, but judging from the 3080 series, the gaming OC had a higher boost clock there. The gaming OC also has a dual BIOS function, so you'll be able to switch between the BIOS, and typically you'll have one mode as the silent mode, and then the other mode will be a performance mode. Now it also says that the gaming OC has a 4-year warranty, whereas the Eagle does not have this, and I'm not sure how that's going to play out in different countries, but that would be another difference. But overall, if you don't care about the warranty or you don't care about the dual BIOS, then I would just go for the Eagle because they're basically the same performance and it's a little bit cheaper. Moving on to MSI, and they have 3 cards, the Ventus 2X, the Ventus 3X, and the Gaming X Trio. So with the Ventus 2X, my thoughts are pretty similar to the Asus Dual card, being that they're both 2-fan cards, so I won't repeat my comments again. With the Ventus 3X, I think this is a pretty reasonably priced card, especially when you consider that it's priced lower than the Gigabyte cards. So I think if you're looking at a base model card and you don't want to pay too much over the MSRP, then I would definitely look at the MSI Ventus 3X. Now the Gaming X Trio, I think this competes with the Gigabyte Gaming OC and I guess the Asus TUF because they're priced at around the same price point. Now the Ventus 3X is your no-frills card which doesn't have any RGB, and if you just want performance you would go for the Ventus 3X, but if you want to bling it out a little, maybe you want some RGB features, then you would go with the Gaming X Trio, and it also boosts a little bit higher to 1830 MHz. Now finally we have the INNO3D cards, and INNO3D has 4 cards, although there's 2 twin 2X cards here. One is an OC version. Again, I'd probably skip the 2-fan card, The iChill X4 has an extra small fan on the side, but I think that's not going to make a difference to performance, so just buy whatever's cheapest. The iChill cards have a reasonable boost on them to 1785 MHz, which is higher than cards of a similar price, so I think that's their selling point right there. As for reliability, I haven't used the INNO3D cards, but if anyone watching has, please comment below so people can hear more about them. Now, just finally, I'll leave you with another link to Overclockers UK, and they have some prices for their cards up as well, and these are in pounds, and you can have a look at these prices yourself. Alright, let me know in the comments below which card you're going to get and why. So that's going to do it for this one. Make sure you hit the like button and also to subscribe to this channel for more gaming videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.